So this is the main jail downtown. It's a 643-bed facility that houses mostly maximum security inmates. You know, it's very old, it's very antiquated. Again, back in 1969, maybe this was considered, you know, a state-of-the-art design. I can certainly tell you that having traveled the country, visited jails all over the country, and obviously been heavily involved in the design phase of the new facility, it's certainly not what's considered the best practice today. The officers that are working the facility do not have direct line of sight with the inmates. They're not, in order for the deputies to be able to physically see the inmates, they have to walk around what are catwalks. It's kind of the old traditional, what you would see in kind of the old movies. That's currently not the best practice. The direction we're moving with the new facility is to move to a direct supervision model where the deputies are actually embedded in the cell with the inmates, where they have line of sight with the inmates at all times.
Well, it was built in the late 60s, and it feels like it was built in the late 60s. And when you think of the course of time, of all that can happen between 45 and 50 years to a facility that is used 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
We house some of our medical staff, some of our medical folks here. People who have some pretty significant medical issues are also housed in this facility. It's just a very old, very antiquated, and the physical plan is not a design that's conducive to what would consider to be best correctional practices today. What we have found is that, you know, roughly 75% of the folks that come through the doors of this jail, and you got to remember that's a large number. You have, you know, 35,000 folks cycle through the door of the Franklin County Jail in any given year. With 75% of those, once they leave here, returning back into our community. They're our friends, they're our neighbors, you know, they go to our churches, their kids go to our schools. So it's certainly in our best interest as a county and as a society to return those folks back into our community in better shape than we have them. I've been doing this for 27 years, and what I can tell you is what we're doing currently is not working.
You know, I'll tell you what, another issue is efficiency and cost. You know, when you look at how these HVAC units and ducts are through here, it begs the question, what are we paying in utilities? And, you know, can we create a facility that's more efficient, saving us costs on the front end as well? That it's not just about building a new facility, it's about building a new facility for the age and day that we live in. When you think about when this facility was built, the county has grown by nearly 400 or over 400,000 people since the facility was built. And so the needs are just different today than they were 45 or 50 years ago. And so now we want to project out what our needs may be 20 or 30 years from now. And so we want to incorporate that into a facility. And so whatever those plans may be, we're not building it for just today. We're building it to think about what Franklin County will look like 20 years from now.